I have a question for you. Do you ever struggle with foot pain or ankle pain or any type of pain that just makes it uncomfortable to walk, uncomfortable to put pressure on that foot? Well, today we are diving in with a specialist to make sure that you don't have to live with that pain and all the different ways that you can fix that pain, overcome that pain, get rid of the pain, and start making progress in your life again. So I'm really excited to introduce today's guest on our episode of the Fit and Healthy Sioux Falls podcast, my friend, Mr. Nick Kolterman. All right. Hey, Nick, welcome to the show, man. How are you?
I'm doing awesome.
Awesome. Well, hey, Nick, this has just been something kind of a long time coming. I've known you for a while.
Yes.
How long have you been in the, in the entrepreneur arena here in Sioux Falls?
Yeah, ever since I moved here. So almost 19 years ago, it'll be 19 years in October. Started out as a practitioner in orthotic and prosthetics. Been contracted with Sanford, Avera, the VA healthcare systems. Physical therapists, chiropractors. I mean, we're well diverse and well known in the community for the medical side of what we do.
Cool. Nick, what are the businesses that probably more of the audience would know that you own?
Yeah, so we own a couple hunting lodges in the state of South Dakota, sdhunt.com. We do Fit My Feet, obviously. So we started a shoe store company called Fit My Feet. We have 9 locations in 3 states now.
There's 9 locations.
9 locations in 3 states.
What year did you start Fit My Feet?
2012.
2012. Okay. I opened Fit Body in 15, so you were already in the game.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. And your first location was?
Sioux Falls, South Dakota on Minnesota Avenue in a little strip mall that's been here since the 40s.
Okay.
And we were in 1,200 square feet. We outgrew that in about 6 months.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Yeah. And then we just recently last year bought Runner's Block from Rob Huber here in town. We're turning that around and
cool.
Kind of strategic planning there. We wanted access to Nike. We wanted access to, Asics, Mizuno's, some of the other run specialty stuff.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to help build the running community and get people in the right footwear, doing biomechanics, gait analysis. We have a treadmill in there. We know anatomy and physiology.
Yeah.
And the manager that manages that store is very diverse in what we do, and he knows what he's talking about when it comes to finding the right footwear and needs for whether it's a sports injury. We see a lot of athletes in the community, so we team up with a lot of high school sports, USF, SDSU, University of Augustana. I mean, you name it. We see a lot of sports athletics. And so owning a run specialty store, we're able to hone in a little bit more on people that have shin splints, people that have ankle injuries, knee issues, chondromalacia, patella tendonitis with the knees, things like that. And that's what our claim to fame is that we definitely know what we're doing.
Sure. You just said some words there that honestly went right over my head. Yeah. So if you're watching or listening and those words went over your head, we're right along together. But one thing that personally I notice when I'm doing fitness is, honestly, I don't even know what it's called, but right on the arch of your foot, you'd start to get like just a pain in that arch of your foot.
Sure.
What is that called?
Yeah, I mean, most diagnoses that we see and treat, plantar fasciitis is probably one of the most common ones.
Okay.
The longitudinal arch, which is the long arch of the foot, connects into the transverse arch going across the ball of the foot. We see a lot of injuries there, and people that do fitness and they're active like your guys' customer base is, they're more prone to injuries, So I think the biggest thing to touch on today is the fact that we want to prevent things from problems that are happening.
Yeah.
We don't want to see patients when they're 4 years into an injury and they're fighting it and they can't go to the gym, they can't walk the dog, things like that. And so I think prevention and preventative maintenance is huge. We get people in the right footwear, we get them the right orthotics, and we prevent these problems.
Yeah. So I do feel that a lot of times an injury can stop a health and fitness journey because you're motivated in the beginning, you get going, and like you said, wherever that is, that injury, the ankle, the foot, wherever, it then stops you. And so I feel like there's something that like holds people up though, because they don't know, like, do I go to the doctor? Do I go to a shoe store? Do I go to what?
Correct.
Where do I go? So how do you go to Fit My Feet?
Yeah.
Where do you go?
That's good. Like, so most people WebMD it nowadays.
Yeah, right.
They say, "Oh man, that's what I have."
Yep.
No, we, in all honesty, like we work with just a great team in the medical community here. So going to a physician, getting a proper diagnosis, I think is super important.
And so when you're talking like to the doctor.
Yeah, go to the doctor, go to a specialist, whether it's a foot injury, whether it's ankle injury, whether it's a knee issue, hip pain, low back issues.
Yeah.
Once we figure out what's going on, we know enough about anatomy and physiology with my medical background and the people that are trained in our stores and our locations to be able to fix that problem.
And that's Fit My Feet.
Yeah, Fit My Feet, Runner's Block.
So you can go to both.
Yeah, absolutely.
Both stores, because to my understanding, like when I think Runner's Block, and obviously you just took that over, I wouldn't think to go to Runner's Block if I'm having like foot pain to talk to them about a shoe.
Footwear or insoles or whatever.
Maybe I would think of Fit My Feet because that kind of more comes to the top of mind. But you're saying you can go to both. And walk in there, whoever's working, and just say, hey, I have this pain.
Yeah.
And maybe maybe at this point it's not even an injury.
Yep.
It's just pain, discomfort.
And that's where a lot of people start. Here's what's different and why we started Fit My Feet and why we bought Runner's Block is because most people will go into Walgreens, they'll go into Walmart, they'll stand on the Dr. Scholl's machine. Sure. It spits out a number. They pay $60, right?
Yeah.
They get an insole. They go home. It feels good. I call it the Dr. Scholl's effect. You're gelling for about 4 weeks, and then you're not gelling anymore.
Then you're not gelling.
And so,
why is that? You mean because they stop wearing it, or because
it's just they're garbage.
Anymore?
I mean, it's just the orthotic just doesn't hold up. It's not the right insole. Sure. I mean, basically, it's just like going on WebMD, right? I mean, they say, well, I have this problem. I think this is what it is. Buying the wrong orthotic, it's not going to solve the issue. Right?
Okay, and so I do want to just hear for anyone that might be listening or watching, maybe this is like brand new to us, right?
Yeah.
And this is something that I deal with a ton because this is our world. We forget what others don't maybe even know.
Correct.
So when you're saying like an orthotic or an insole, that's literally just something that goes inside of the shoe that you wear.
That is correct. Yep.
It isn't a special shoe.
Nope.
It isn't a special device. I guess kind of, but it just goes into the shoe that you wear.
Correct. Yeah. And there's all kinds of different options, right? So another company that I own is called SolesRx. You can check it out on solesrx.com.
Okay.
We're across the whole United States. We're as far as Pennsylvania down to Texas. Wow. We have retail stores. We're in podiatry clinics, which is foot and ankle.
Okay.
We're also in DME clinics, durable medical equipment. We're all across the board, retail stores. And so the over-the-counter insoles, not everybody needs a custom orthotic. That's what we do as practitioners.
Okay.
Right? So if you're truly dealing with plantar fasciitis, you've got a sports injury, you've got a knee issue that you've had forever, right? And you're just not getting over it. The doctor says, well, you don't really have bone on the knee. We're not going to do a total knee replacement. You need to find out if you need to wear a knee brace to stabilize it.
Yep.
You need to find out proper footwear, proper insoles to go in your shoes.
Yeah.
Can control a lot of that knee movement and take care of that problem.
Okay. Cool. So clearly you're all in on proper foot and making why is that so important to you? What happened in your life where you're like, hey, I want to go all in on proper foot and like what happened? What happened?
The first 2 years of my college career, I was in business, and I took business 2 years, business law, and I switched gears because I worked at a shoe store part-time. Okay. And that's actually what sparked my interest. There was an orthopedic guy that was sending people in. They would have orthotics made. They would have AFOs, leg braces for like stroke patients, MS patients.
Okay.
I mean, we see a very vast majority of population with different diagnoses, right? So I would see all these patients and I'd fit them for footwear, and then that really sparked my interest. And so I went to visit that doctor, and he said, Nick, there's orthotic and prosthetic degrees out there, and he goes, in the next decade to 2 decades, you're going to be very important in that field. That field is growing. He said diabetes isn't going away. People need proper shoes for that. Arthritis, sports injuries, prosthetics. I mean, you name it. He said, you're going to see all this stuff and it's not going away. People that have MS that need to walk, people that have a stroke and they have foot drop and they can't walk up and down stairs. They can't get out of a car. Like, that was very intriguing to me. And so I started doing my research on it, switched majors, went into health science, and then Went down to OSU in Oklahoma and did orthotic and prosthetics down there, and moved to Sioux Falls, and the rest is history.
Yeah. So clearly, like, he was right.
Yeah, I mean, there's such a need for it, and people don't understand. Like, when you work out, number one, you don't want to develop a problem, right? No. And like we just talked about, the whole preventative state. And so, working with these doctors in the communities, whether it's arthritis, we'll talk about that. Arthritis is huge. People have arthritis, they have rheumatoid, osteo, and then there's 100 and some other diagnoses with arthritic. Now they go in, they get medication from the rheumatologist, right? So they go see their specialist, they get medication, they look at their feet, they look at their joints, they look at their bones, and then they say, well, you need to stay active. Well, how do I do that if I hurt? How do I do that if my feet are in pain from having rheumatoid arthritis? And so those are things that we look at. We want to get them into the proper footwear. We know that diagnosis. We know how to fix a lot of those problems, same way with diabetics, they come and want to work out. Are they in the proper footwear, right? Yeah. If they have swelling, if they have neuropathy, they can't feel their feet, they still want to be active, just like you and I. Yeah. But are they in the proper footwear? Are they in the proper orthotics? And so that's what really got me into the footwear side of things. Yeah. And so I look back on it and I go, how can we tie these two things together, right? I'm in the hospital setting for 7 years, floated between 3 hospital systems in Sioux Falls, saw 30-some patients a day, 200-some patients a week. It was very overwhelming. And I didn't know where to send these people. I'd send them to some shoe store, and some part-time kid would fit their feet, and he didn't know. Right.
Right.
So
because they're not trained that way.
They're not trained that way. And so I would do a lot of gait studies in the clinic. I had a treadmill in my office, and
real quick, I just want to explain, what is a gait study?
Yeah, a gait study. So we would have cameras. We'd have 2 or 3 different cameras set up, and we'd film someone's gait. And what we learned from that is, do they overpronate? Do their arches roll in?
Gait is how somebody walks.
That is correct. Yep. So their gait, their heel strike, their mid stance, and their toe off. Okay. So we would analyze that gait, and then we would look back, and as a runner that came in and had shin splints, they're getting shin splints for a reason, right? Yep. And most of the time, it's their foot is not properly aligned through their gait. Okay. And so we would look at that and we'd go, all right, this film clearly tells us what's going on. Sure. And then I'd have them go to a shoe store in town here, buy 3 pairs of shoes. They'd come back. I would do another gait analysis, spend an hour with them on all 3 of those shoes. Yep. Then we'd build them an appliance, whether it's an orthotic, or we'd tell them to go get an over-the-counter insole. Yep. We'd put that in the shoes. This was a whole extensive thing. And most of these patients, they were suffering pretty heavily. And they were marathon runners. They're people that did ultras. I mean, I've seen a very vast majority of athletics over the years. And so they'd all come to me for my expert advice, and they'd say, what do we need to do here to fix this problem? Yeah.
And the cool thing is that you could, right?
Oh, it was very rewarding. That's for me, it's like, I think the icing on the cake for me in what I do is seeing people walk pain-free again and be active.
So I think a big thing, I just stop us here quick and talk to our audience a bit, is like, you don't have to suffer in pain.
No.
If you're feeling foot pain, ankle pain, joint pain in your legs, there's more than likely a reason.
Absolutely.
And so you don't have to go through that. And if you're struggling and wondering where to go, what to do, stop into a Fit My Feet, stop into Runner's Block, and just ask the question. The cool thing, and I've gotten to know Nick here a little better, and this is my biggest thing with FitBody, I want to help people. Mm-hmm. You want to help people. Mm-hmm. What we've learned, we're both entrepreneurs, we're both business people. Yep. If you can help the client, truly care about the client, like you will grow your business. And that's what we need to do. But we don't do it by pressuring people into buy something. We don't do it by pressuring someone into doing something. We do it by helping the person solve the problem.
You're absolutely right. And here's the other thing that I learned when we started Fit My Feet and we opened the first location. Yeah. We did that for a very specific reason as well. And that reason was not everybody can afford custom stuff that I do. That's what I do. So when you're talking a $1,200 leg brace and you're talking a $400 pair of custom insoles, do certain people need those things? Absolutely. Yeah. But the vast majority of people, they just need a good over-the-counter insole with the right proper footwear. Yeah. That solves 50 to 60%, 70% of the population's issues, right? Yeah. And it's affordable. Yeah. And so one of the questions that we ask when everybody comes into a Fit My Feet or Runner's Block is how long have you been dealing with this? Yeah. How long has this pain been bothering you?
Yeah.
That paints a picture in our head of how aggressive are we going to get with this?
Yeah.
Right. And our staff is all trained on this. And so the other thing that we look at is how aggressive do you want us to get with this?
Yep.
How fast do you want this problem solved?
Yeah.
We can try a shoe. We can try an over the counter. If you've been dealing with plantar fasciitis and it's a chronic pain and a chronic issue, you're probably going to need a custom orthotic, right?
Yeah.
Spend the money.
Yep.
But if you don't, and it's not been an issue and it's the onset of something,
Yep.
let's put you in a $50 insole.
Yeah.
Let's try a shoe that will probably work. And let's do that first. It's just no different than the doctor, right?
Yeah.
You go into the doctor and they say, hey, we're going to first try a sterile cortical injection, right? We're going to inject this site. We're going to send you to physical therapy.
Yep.
And then we're going to check back with you in 4 weeks.
Sure.
Okay. The 4-week follow-up is, are you better?
Yeah.
Yeah, doc, I'm better. This feels great. Or no, I'm not. Then we dive deeper into this. We do some x-rays, maybe an MRI, check things out at a deeper level, and we find other things, right?
Yeah.
Once they find other things, then it could be a surgical procedure.
Yeah.
But the doctor goes through a series of questions and answers and processes, right?
Yeah.
We do the same exact thing. We look at things and we analyze things and we go, okay, what can be affordable to the patient or the customer, right?
Yes.
And that's where you take care of people. And when
Yep.
you take care of people and they know that you're not just gouging them, they know that you're doing it for the right reasons because you want them better and it's
Yeah.
affordable to them, and you
Yeah.
find an answer, you get a lot of business.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And that's the thing I love about it. And the thing that's just been really intriguing to me with our community in Sioux Falls. I mean, I was born and raised here. Were
Yeah.
you born in Sioux Falls?
I wasn't. I was actually born in Seward, Nebraska, just outside of Lincoln.
Okay,
Yeah.
you were. Very cool. And what year did you move it then to Sioux Falls?
I've been in Sioux Falls since 2006.
Okay.
Started my practice.
Okay,
Yep.
cool. The thing that I've loved about Sioux Falls, though, is that there's all these businesses. Every community has all these businesses.
Absolutely.
So many of them have a local person tied to owning that business.
Right.
But probably more than most of our audience watching this, they have
Right.
no idea when they drive by a Fit Body boot camp. They have no idea when they drive by a Fit My Feet or walk by a runner's block that a local person owns.
I've had so many
store.
times that people go, how many franchises does Fit My Feet and who owns the company?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And the other day I literally walked into my store after being at the hospital. I walk in there and some guy I said, have you been helped? He goes, no. So I sat down with him. He didn't know I owned the company.
No.
I was sitting there and at the end, one of the guys walks up and says, hey, Nick, you got a meeting here in about 20 minutes or whatever. And he looks at me and goes, what do you do? I said, well, I own Fit My Feet. And he goes, I would have never guessed that.
That's
because
awesome.
it's you don't go around and you don't tell the world,
Yeah.
But the other thing that's important too is another business that we just started, and I love these podcast things.
Yeah.
But we started a podcast as well. We're doing our first episode next week, and it's called Business Lifestyle.
Okay.
And you just hit on that. Like,
Yeah.
how many people don't know the lifestyle side of a business owner?
Yeah.
They're associated, like Fit Body Bootcamp. Hey,
Yeah.
CJ owns that. Well, what about CJ? You
Yeah.
know, what
What's that
drives
podcast
him?
called?
Business Lifestyle.
Okay,
Yep. Business
cool.
Lifestyle Sioux Falls.
So
Yep.
you're shooting the next episode next week, or you're dropping it?
We're shooting the episode next week,
Okay.
our very first one. So
Awesome.
we're super jacked up about that.
Yeah, that's cool. So we'll put a link in the description of this one.
Yeah.
So that way they can find that.
Absolutely.
Because that'll be fun. Down the road, I'll have to jump on there with you.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Just, it is very cool to understand the people behind these businesses, why they came to be.
Yeah.
And we've dove into that here a little bit. But the biggest thing I want anyone watching or listening is when it comes to your health, your fitness, we want you to live the best life possible. My big belief is that you were created to live an amazing life.
Absolutely.
And you weren't created to walk around in pain.
Yep.
You weren't created to have injuries that stop you. And so if you're having that, we just found out that, hey, stop by a Fit My Feet, stop by a runner's block. Let's see if we can fix the pain and
Right.
not stop the progress.
Right. And, the thing that we've hit on a little bit just recently since January 1st, everybody has their New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
And you and I were talking about this the other day was, the 3 F's in my life,
Yes.
faith, family, and fitness.
Yes.
Faith, family, fitness. Have they all aligned? No.
Yeah.
But I've taken a big step this last year, just working out, being more active, being up at my farm too. I mean, being in the outdoors. I love to get my hands dirty and work on things too.
Yeah.
But getting in the gym and also just getting back to being physical.
Yeah.
And the fitness side of things gets overlooked so much. You know, and I look at my parents, and I look at people that walk in our stores that are 70, 80 years old, and they're not active, they're not moving. And then I see guys that come into my store that are 95, 100 years old, they're living to be 100 years old. And I said, what's the secret? And they go, I've been active my whole life. You know, I've worked out, I've stayed healthy, I eat healthy. That's the other key. I eat healthy, I stay healthy, I stay active, right? And so for me, it's the faith. You know, I feel the same way. God put me on this earth to serve a purpose, and I think my purpose is to help as many people as I possibly can.
Absolutely.
And the family thing to me is super important too.
You've got kids.
Yeah, I do. I got 2 kids. I've got a 12-year-old daughter and a 15-year-old son, and they're super active. I mean, they're like
I have a 12-year-old daughter too.
Full of energy at 12 years old. And so, you know, they go to Sioux Falls Christian, and they're very active in sports and dance and different things. And so, and then the fitness side comes along with that, you know. I mean, the other night I got off work and I went home, and then my son goes, "Hey Dad, you want to go hit balls at Harmon Park?" And I'm like, "Sure." We did that till dark, you know.
Yeah. You know, and here's another cool thing too, when it comes to fitness, that like there are so many different places to work out here in town. We were talking before this, Nick Ovenden. I always get his name pronounced wrong. Yeah. But you know, he's basically oversees the Great Lives here in town. Yeah. And I know that that's where you work out. And the big thing about that is like, me owning Fit Body. Yeah. I'm not like, Nick, you need to come to Fit Body. Yeah. The thing is Nick, you need to stay active. Right. And so you watching this, guess what? You need to stay active. And that's the whole point of this podcast is I want to encourage you, wherever you're at watching this, go find somewhere to stay active. Absolutely. Go find somewhere to do something. And the cool thing about it is there are so many opportunities and resources in our community to do that. So you said faith, you said family, you said fitness. Yeah. So other than, you said eating healthy, you said working out, what else do you find that you can do with fitness? Like what does really that mean to you?
Yeah, what does fitness mean to me? Yeah. Just like I touched on before, it's a lot of it's community too. Yeah. You know, finding people that you can work out with. The accountability thing is big for me. Yeah. You know, and so I hold all my staff accountable. I hold other friends accountable. We have men's group. We hold each other accountable. You know, Bible studies, we hold each other accountable. Yeah. But when it comes to fitness, a lot of times we don't get in a group or we don't stay accountable to other people, right? Yeah. And we work out on our own, whether that's at home, whether it's, you know, at the gym by myself, lifting weights. Yep. I don't have a trainer, you know, those types of things. And that's a lot harder to do. Yeah. And so, you know, way back in the day, I did the Punch Farrell's fitness, you know, that was years and years ago. Yeah. And I had a partner, right? Yeah. Because you have a partner with that. Yep. And for 10 weeks, I did the 10-week deal. And I didn't miss a one. Yeah. I mean, and that meant something. Yeah, it was accountability. It was like, get your butt up at 5:30 in the morning. We were both texting each other. Because there was days, I'll admit, I was like just laying in bed going, geez, I'm day 4 into this. It's not Friday yet. And I have one more day and I don't want to go. Yeah. And then Bill was like, nope, we're going, you know, and
so I want to touch on that real quick. You said the partner, the accountability. Yeah. Because that is something that at Fit Body that's been huge for me, even personally. What happens is like, you might be watching this and you don't have a partner. Well, when you come into Fit Body, a lot of our clients come in and they don't have a partner. But we are group fitness. And what happens is we want to get you connected with the community, with people that are going to push you. Because you said another thing was your friend group. Okay. If you're out there, friends, hanging out with people that are pushing you to go to the bar, pushing you to eat unhealthy foods, encouraging you to do all this stuff, that right there is negative accountability.
You know, and at the beginning of the year, I really went through, you know, Facebook, I went through friends, I went through, you know, all that stuff. And it's like, who do you lean on and who do you hang out with? You know, there's a lot of quotes and a lot of sayings about that. You know, who you hang out with is who you become. You know, and it's so true. And, you know, you and I were talking about this last week. I rub shoulders with a lot of business people. I rub shoulders with a lot of big people that are way higher up than I am. And there's a reason for that. You know, I have mentors, you know, I go to mastermind groups. I was just down in one in Stonewood Ranch, you know, in Oklahoma a month and a half ago. And I learned so much from those people. I choose not to go to the bars. I mean, I can't even tell you. I mean, you know, when the last time I was up after 11 o'clock, you know, at a drinking establishment. So the faith, the family, the fitness ties into that. Find another people that are on that path
that align with your values. Because to me, when you say faith, family, fitness, like those are your values.
Absolutely,
you value your faith, your family, and your fitness. And so what you do is you find people that value those same things. Yep. And so I want to encourage everyone watching this: find people that value health, fitness, faith, family. Find people that value the same things that can align with you, and seek out people that are doing more than you, that are doing better than you, because that's going to encourage you to
it pushes
keep
you
pushing. Yeah,
absolutely, it pushes you. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And I'll be honest, for the longest time, we've known each other on Facebook, I think for years,
quite a while,
literally years. And I see your posts and stuff.
We comment on each other's stuff.
We do. Yeah. So we've talked on Facebook and over the social media, but in a positive way. Yeah. That social media, I think, obviously is losing that effect.
Yep.
But we see each other posting what we're posting and what we're doing. And when Nick has success, like, it excites me. But there's so many people that when they see someone else have success, it's kind of like, well, why does that person have success?
There's a lot of that.
And you need to cut those people out of your life.
Right. And there, one thing that anybody that follows me on social media or my personal Facebook, they see that I put a quote on there most days.
Yeah, almost every day.
Almost every day.
Yeah.
And I can touch base on this one. Guy was in Sioux Falls. He was a business owner, moved out of Sioux Falls. He's a personal friend of mine as well. He actually took one of those quotes that I had with my name on it, and he had it custom made, and he put it on his wall in his office where he moved to.
Yeah.
And he sent me a picture of it, and I was so touched by that. I was just like, man, what is he doing? And he said, you inspire me every day when I get up and I look. He goes, I'm excited every day to get up, and he goes, I'm waiting for you to post something on a quote or something. And so that just drives me more.
Yeah. That's the coolest thing is you never know who you're inspiring.
Right.
And I'll tell you, and I don't know if you ever feel this way, but sometimes I do. Mm-hmm. Like, I'll post a quote or I'll post something cool, and it's like,
got 4 hits.
Yeah. But it's like, who am I trying to do? And I'm not trying to do anything other than a lot of times that quote right there, that thing, that's inspiring me.
That's very true.
Right?
Me too. Yep.
It inspires me, and then it has this ripple effect.
Yep.
And you'll run into that, like the guy that you just mentioned about, and it's like you didn't even know you were having that effect on his life.
It's very true.
And so that's when it's like, you know what? Maybe I'm not going to post my quote today. Then you think of that guy.
Yeah.
And you're like, posted my quote today.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, dude, Nick, this has been awesome. We could keep talking, and I think we'll probably do another episode down the road. Obviously, I'd love to be on your show. Which
we want to talk business. We want to talk lifestyle. Yep. There's a lot of good things that can come out of this.
Yeah, cool. What would be the best way to get in touch or just stay connected with you? Would it be follow you on social media?
Yeah, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, fitmyfeet.com.
Okay.
Runnersblock.com.
What are your names, I guess, on Instagram and on Facebook for Fit My Feet? Is the main one just Fit My Feet?
Yeah, Fit My Feet.
So if you just search on Facebook or Instagram, Fit My Feet, you'll find it.
Okay. You can follow us on my hunting adventures too.
Cool.
That's Suncatcher Acres.
Yeah, so. I actually I just want to comment on this quick. I seen one of your Airbnbs.
Yes.
And I actually sent it to my wife. I was like, hey, we've got some friends coming to town. We should look at maybe going and staying at this place. I'm not a big hunter.
I keep it on the down low. It's, the way it's set up, and there's hot tubs. We have one on each property. We've got a pool table. We have darts. We have trap shooting. We're building a 2-acre pond right now.
Really?
Yeah. And so they'll be fishing. They'll be.
Where is this at?
This is northeast of Mitchell. So it's Alexandria exit. Before you get to Mitchell, you just go straight north.
So it's
an hour from Sioux Falls.
There you go. Boom.
Hour from Sioux Falls. It sleeps 20-some people. I mean, it's pretty dialed. It's fun.
Well,
we have a lot of good times.
Let's not put this out to the public, but I guess since I'm saying it here, I am.
Yeah.
This might sound like a very good fit body team retreat.
Yes. Last year we had, in the community with business owners, we had Lloyd guys out. We had Daktronic guys out. We do a lot of those guys bring their teams out and do team building events.
Yeah.
We have side-by-sides, 4-wheelers. We've got,
That's awesome.
I mean, we have a lot of fun. We have a party bus. So in the summer times we do bachelorette parties.
That's cool.
And it's always about connections, right? I was just in the chamber event a few days ago, and they did the business event where there was 30-some businesses there.
Yep.
I rubbed shoulders with a travel agency, and then I just met with those girls 2 mornings ago.
Yeah.
And that never even dawned on me that they go, we have a lot of people that are local that just want a place to get away and not be in Sioux Falls. And they said, why don't we team up with you and we put this in our travel agency as an option? And
Absolutely.
I go, that's incredible. Like, why would we not do that?
That's cool. And you're exactly right. It's about these connections. Nick and I connected because we both had a mutual interest in, honestly, faith and fitness.
Yeah.
Those were the two things that kind of connected us and that have kept us connected. But now through that connection, it's going to lead to so many more things. And so I just want to encourage you guys that are watching this, find people that are going to push you in the right direction, you know, towards the goals and the values and the dreams that you have. You know, we're gonna wrap this thing up, but I just want to let you guys know, you know, as always, like, subscribe, share this episode. But the biggest thing, and we kind of went a little 180 with our talk, and that's okay. That's the best part about, you know, podcasts and being able to do this. But the biggest thing, if you're having pain, don't live with that pain. Find a solution to that pain and know that there are people out there that can help you with that pain. Nick, thank you so much for taking time. Dude, you're busy. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy life to come and share with us. I know that the audience got some value today for sure. Absolutely. About just how to deal with different pains they might be having. Mm-hmm. There's going to be some definite more partnerships and cool things coming out of just this connection right here.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, you know, I want you to just one last word of value, of something that they can leave with. You said, here's what we're going to do. You said that you post a quote every day. Mm-hmm. Let the audience know, what is one of your most favorite quotes that you can leave them with that they can kind of take throughout their day-to-day?
You know, Roosevelt, he's got a lot of famous ones. My favorite, and you can look this up, and it's pretty long, but it's called "The Man in the Arena."
Oh, boom! I love that.
And I have that actually in my bathroom. The other thing that I encourage everybody to do, we started the sticky note thing. Okay. And so write a quote on a sticky note every morning and stick that on your bathroom mirror. And anybody that follows me on social media, I post those every now and again. Half of my mirror on one side is full and half is full on the other side, and the whole bottom is full now. I kind of have to start removing some of them and putting new ones up. But my goal was to fill the bathroom mirror with sticky notes.
Of quotes.
Just quotes. And you know, some of them are simple. You know, love yourself. You know, huge. I mean, just simple. And when you see those every morning, I don't know how it doesn't encourage somebody. Yeah. You know, and now I have my kids involved in it. My 12-year-old, my 15-year-old come in and they write sticky notes on there, and their side of the mirror is on the right side now, and mine's on the left side. So I got my kids involved in it, and it's so encouraging to them too. And they love to come in there every morning, and the notepad's sitting there with the pen. That's so cool. And so take those quotes. I want to encourage you. He mentioned it, the Man in the Arena. Look that thing up, and it's know touching. It's pretty cool. So, hey, look that up. Follow Nick on social media. Obviously, follow his business page. But I want to encourage you, follow Nick on social media, because those quotes that he posts, they inspire me. Yeah. And so if they inspire me, like, if you can inspire me, no, I'm just kidding. But you're going to be inspired as well. Again, Nick, thank you for being here. Everyone that just watched, listened, viewed this episode, thank you so much. You are the reason that this podcast exists. And so go out there, be awesome today. Know that you are awesome. But like I said before, like, subscribe, and share this show. And we will catch you on the next episode of the Fit and Healthy Sioux Falls podcast. Bye, you guys. Peace.